the first visit of the season to Donington for a race that promised the best action of the championship so far. A 1-hour endurance race with compulsory pit stops and driver changes. Fascinating driver combinations. Guy Edwards teamed with a man who now knows all about endurance racing, Le Mans winner Johnny Dumfries.
I'm struggling with the waist strap, just grab hold of it.
All right, I'll do my best. That's actually quite difficult, but I mean, I'll do my best, sure.
Championship leader Frank Sittner teamed with Britain's James Weaver, a driver with great experience on the American racing scene. But Formula 3 man Roland Ratzenberger joins Alan Minshaw to provide a real challenge in the BMW ranks. This was the new challenge to the Ford Sierra Cosworth, the mighty Nissan GT-SR, in the hands of Wyn Percy, 3 times British champion, and the extrovert Australian Alan Grice, 1986 Bathurst winner, one of the most accomplished men in the sport. But qualifying saw Andy Rouse, who'd be partnered by David Sears, take pole position. And to see how seriously drivers take qualifying, look back to Mark Hales attempting to qualify his Toyota and failing. Hales and the Toyota recovered. He'd be driving that and partnering Jerry Marney in the race, described by Murray Walker.
Pace car's the one with the lights. Away it goes. And the race has started. Down to Redgate Corner, the right-hander they come. And it's Mike Newman in the lead with Andy Rouse in second position. Now we're in car with Andy Rouse. Mike Newman ahead on the left, coming up to Craner Curves. Rouse goes through, takes the lead at Craner Curves. And behind him, it's Mike Newman, Graham Good, Lawrence Bristow and Wyn Percy. Wyn Percy in the Nissan 2-litre turbo car. And now we're in Roland Ratzenberger's BMW. Ahead of us is Barry Williams in the black BMW. And off goes Mike Smith. Mike Smith in his BMW M3. Chasing now Dennis Leach, and looking back, there is Mike Smith bearing down on us. Number 32 in the BMW. Andy Rouse leads at Coppice, Newman second, Good third, Bristow fourth, and Wyn Percy in fifth position as the rest go streaming through. Now down to the chicane. Look at the lead that Andy Rouse has got, not very much. Newman, Good, Wyn Percy is up into fourth position ahead of Bristow as they go down to Redgate. There's Rouse, there's Newman. Graham Good in the white car and in the red and blue one. Number 23, Wyn Percy, fourth position. Ford, first, second, third. And Wyn Percy, we're in his Nissan now. Ahead of us is Graham Good. Watch the gears. Fifth gear, that is. Out of the Craner Curves, closing right up on Graham Good. Whoops, Graunches down to third gear. Accelerates out. Wyn Percy, that brilliant Jaguar sports car driver, the man who crashed so badly at Le Mans last year. And that is Mike Newman, number 14 in second place. Graham Good has got Wyn Percy right behind him in the Nissan. The Nissan seems to have the legs, and now Ratzenberger goes past Dennis Leach. Look back, there's the Rover. And Mike Smith coming through to take Dennis Leach as Ratzenberger closes up on Barry Williams. Goes off. Barry Williams off in the BMW. And now we go past Weaver into 10th position. James Weaver in the BMW drops back as Ratzenberger, the Austrian Formula 3 driver, gets away in Alan Minshaw's M3. Ratzenberger, Weaver, Smith, there's Dennis Leach into Redgate. And number 23 in car with Wyn Percy. Fifth gear, Graham Good still ahead of us. Oh, that sounds very rough indeed as Wyn Percy graunches the gear down to third. Out of it and up to fourth, underneath Starkey's Bridge. Move over, Graham Good. Wyn Percy gesticulating. And you can see that Percy is rubbing the boot lid almost of the Ford Sierra in front of him with the nose of his Nissan as they come up to the right-hander at Coppice. Now, can Win Percy do anything about Graham Good's Ford Sierra Cosworth in front of him as he comes out of Coppice, down the long straight towards the chicane? Yes! Past and up into third position. Back into third gear. Into the chicane. So Percy is third. And ahead of us is Mike Newman in second place. So, Win Percy has demonstrated he can take one Ford Sierra Cosworth. Can he catch Mike Newman? Well, he's caught him. Right up to him at Redgate. That's the man in second place. And now Percy goes through into second place. Ford Sierra Cosworth leads Andy Rouse, and this car, the Nissan of Win Percy, is in second place, really going for it. And now, this is Ratzenberger's car. We're looking back at James Weaver in the BMW M3 behind. Coming up to Redgate, the right-hander. Weaver's closing up and going through, passing us. But look, number 44, that's Ratzenberger. Keeps the outside line and keeps the place. He holds 9th position. James Weaver behind us in 10th position. Tremendously close racing all round this Donington circuit. Coming up to the old hairpin. Ratzenberger in the orange BMW. Weaver in the white one, which he's sharing with Frank Sittner. And Tony Eaton goes off in the Toyota Corolla. Rejoins the circuit, doesn't lose a place. And Ratzenberger and Weaver are still at it. First and second in Class B. Andy Rouse leading, number 22. Win Percy second, number 23. Out of the chicane, down the straight. We're riding with Win Percy up into 5th gear. Now watch him go down through the gears to Redgate. Straight back from 5th to 3rd. So it's Rouse ahead, leading. Percy second. Newman is in 3rd place. Graham Good is 4th. Lawrence Bristow is 5th. And Guy Edwards is in 6th position. Up to the old hairpin. And off onto the grass goes Jeff Kimber-Smith's Toyota Corolla. There it is. Straight past it we go. Andy Rouse ahead. Watch him get through these two men. Pass one to the right, pass the other to the left. And Win Percy closes right up. Down into 3rd gear. Out of McLean's. Up towards Coppice. And here are the first two. There's hardly anything between the Ford and the Nissan now. Win Percy chasing Andy Rouse under the bridge. This is the fastest part of the course, 125 miles an hour. Down through the gears again. Up into second for the chicane. Right, left, Rouse. Percy. This is a fantastic drive by the GTS Nissan. It's only the 2nd time it's appeared in competition this year. It nearly won the ETC round here at Donington, and now there's only Andy Rouse's Ford ahead of it. This is the old hairpin. And Andy Rouse is fighting for his life and first place now, because Win Percy is swarming all over the rear of the Ford Cosworth. We're travelling with Win Percy and the Nissan. Ahead of us is Andy Rouse, the race leader. Out of McLean's, look how close it is, up to Coppice. Now, this is Win Percy's chance. He's in an ideal position to slingshot his way through into the lead. Coming right up alongside the Ford Sierra Cosworth of Andy Rouse. Under the bridge, Rouse pulls away. There's more horsepower with the Ford than there is with the Nissan there. Down into the chicane, and Win Percy's going through. He takes the lead. Win Percy leads. He's got a clear track ahead of him, and he has just broken the lap record. 94.4 miles an hour. Percy leads, Rouse second, Newman third. Bristow has gone up into 4th position. Good has gone down to 5th place, and Guy Edwards is 6th. Redgate, Percy, and now the chicane. Carl Jones, Ratzenberger, and Weaver. We're with Ratzenberger now. Ahead of us is Carl Jones. Passing Kevin Eaton's Toyota on the left there as they go into the right-hander at Redgate. Well, Jones is through. Now Ratzenberger with the left-hand drive BMW is through. on to the old hairpin. 6 cars approach it, and 3 of them are lapping the other 3. Just look at this. Ratzenberger and Weaver are past Jones. Look back from Ratzenberger's car. That's Weaver behind in 9th position. Up now to McLean's. Ratzenberger is 8th. Weaver in the white BMW is 9th. And they're both coming up to lap Tony Crudgington's Toyota Corolla at Coppice. They do so. Through they go. Ratzenberger first, then Weaver. And onto the chicane. Andy Rouse is back with Wyn Percy, battling for the lead. Down to Redgate. Percy on the inside, Rouse on the outside. Percy holds the first position. Rouse ducks out and gets past. Rouse in the Sierra leads Percy in the Nissan. They're coming up now to lap Graham Hathaway's car again. And Rouse is boxed in. Percy gets through, straight through the middle. What a fantastic bit of driving. Wyn Percy has regained the lead in the Nissan. Now, can Andy Rouse get past the Nissan again? He's done it once. Can he do it a second time? They come up to McLean's, on towards Coppice, and in front of them, Tony Crudgington's Toyota Corolla. Percy is through. Percy's past Crudgington. Now, Rouse has got to get past him, and he does so. Up to the fastest part of the course again. Andy Rouse is catching the Nissan. He's going to take him. He's back in the lead. Andy Rouse takes the lead again in the Ford Sierra Cosworth through the chicane. Percy's dropping back. He's going into the pits. This is where Wyn Percy is changing drivers and Alan Grice is going to take over. So Mike Newman there is now second. And there's Wyn Percy out of the car. Alan Grice is in it. Slams the door, and at Redgate, Lawrence Bristow, number 19, is in 3rd place as Alan Grice exits in 5th place. And that's Graham Good in the pits. He was 5th. Guy Edwards comes in. He's going to hand over to Johnny Dumfries, the ex-Grand Prix driver. Helping him with the belts, changing the wheels. Dumfries is going to go out. Guy Edwards has completed his stint. And with Andy Rouse almost at the end of the lap, he's going through into the pits here. He's going to hand over to David Sears. David Sears, that very accomplished saloon car and many other classes of racing driver. Andy Rouse out. David Sears in, putting on the safety belts, and you can hear the pneumatic wrenches battering away at the wheel nuts. Come on, says Andy Rouse, get on with it. There's a problem with the left rear wheel. And they're losing time. Off the jacks, into the race goes David Sears.
At this point, exit the BMW of Ratzenberger and Minshaw, so Frank Sittner once again led Class B. But at the front of the field, with just a handful of laps left, David Sears in the Rouse Kaliber Sierra was closing on the leader, Alan Grice. The Nissan had big tyre problems.
Sears is surely going to take the Nissan. 0.3 of a second at Coppice. Closing right up, he's going to soar through. He's in the lead. David Sears leads in the Ford Sierra Cosworth, and there is not very much of the race left. Well, Grice may catch him, but he's going into the pits. Grice is going into the pits. He wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to drive through the rest of the race non-stop. He must have a problem. He's gesturing at the back of the car. Left rear tyre seems to be the problem. They're changing it. So it's Sears leading, Harvey second, Dumfries is in 3rd place, Speak is in 4th place. Grice exits, he's in 5th place. Driving with Alan Grice, rejoining the circuit just before Redgate. Well, he's got Robert Speak in front of him. He may, in the distance that's left, be able to catch him and take 4th place. There's Speak. There is Grice. Well, he certainly can take 4th place because Speak is the car ahead. We're with Alan Grice, the Australian. And woof, straight past the Cosworth. But the Cosworth fights back. And Speak retakes the 4th position. Great stuff. Alan Grice, that gritty Australian driver, the man who has won the James Hardy 1000, that incredible Australian race at Bathurst, is on his way. But Speak looks as though he's got the legs of the Nissan at the present moment. They're coming down to the chicane. And Grice is closing right up on the Cosworth now. He may well take him at Redgate. It depends on the line that Speak takes. He's going wide. Grice goes through on the inside. Does he? Yes, he does. He's taken the place. Grice moves up into 4th position. And at McLean's, David Sears, sharing the car with Andy Rouse, has now got a commanding lead. And behind Sears, there is Tim Harvey lapping Frank Sittner's BMW, number 33, and Sittner is leading Class B. The end of the last lap, and David Sears has almost done it. And now he has victory with Andy Rouse in the Ford, but just 4 seconds ahead of Tim Harvey with Lawrence Bristow in 2nd place. And there's number 21, Dumfries. But look right, 4.5 seconds, and it's Grice in 4th position, sharing the drive in the Nissan with Wyn Percy. And this has been touring car racing at its exciting best.
Yes, the series had really come alive, but the championship table relatively unchanged. Still Sittner from Dowsett and Rouse. But Rouse had come up against a challenge from Wyn Percy that surprised everyone in the Kaliber team.
Yes, he surprised us in the race, caught us out almost, because his practice form hadn't been very good. We got more than a second a lap over him on qualifying time. So our strategy was to run a fairly hard compound tyre in order to try and go right through the race without changing wheels on the driver change, because it's quicker to change the driver than to change the wheels as well. But the Nissan took the opposite view, and they decided to run a very soft tyre and change their tyre halfway. And that was the reason that Wyn was, surprised us that he pulled up so quick, because he was running a soft tyre. It started to backfire on him a little bit by about half distance, because his tyres, being soft, had sort of worn out. Mine was still going strong, so I caught him up again. And in the end, the soft tyre was their downfall, because on the second session, the tyre actually failed on them, and that cost them the race, or certainly dropped them away and made the job a little bit easier for ourselves.